Hi everyone and welcome to my morning report chart analysis videos on Tuesday the 25th of September with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantec Markets. We've got a relatively mixed outlook today, nothing too decisive in terms of direction at all really. We're seeing that the markets are basically going sideways. We've got the dollar, which is just basically consolidating. You've got euro dollar that's not really going anywhere. You've got the dollar index, which again continues to sort of trade around this area of the breakdown that we saw last week, and this is sort of seeing where forex majors are sort of basically flat, nothing really in terms of direction. Now the key move that we saw yesterday was on euro dollar. We saw euro dollar jumping yesterday. And that came on the comments from Mario Draghi, unexpectedly hawkish actually, talking about how the fact that inflation was vigorous, underlying inflation was vigorous in the Eurozone. So subsequently expectations for rate hikes jumped a bit and the euro found support. Now we've seen the euro just coming back a touch and basically flat today. We've got the Fed meeting tomorrow. Now that is going to be key, how the Fed sort of views the outlook going forward into 2019, for example, but I'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. But certainly I think the markets are beginning to sort of factor in that we've got this Fed meeting on the near-term horizon, and we need to just take a little bit of stock as to what's going on. Now we've also got a little bit of chop going around on the on sterling. Brexit is still a big factor for sterling, and the prospect of a second referendum is growing as the Labour Party, the UK opposition party, start to sort of think more about moving towards that way. So we've got that on the minds of sterling traders at the moment. But much beyond that, we're fairly flat on equities, basically nothing doing there, and a slight amount of gold support. Again, really nothing majorly going on there. But it is interesting that we've seen treasury yields which continue to climb on the 10-year and the 2-year, and that is coming in front of this FOMC meeting. So and even though the dollar is basically not doing all that well. So what we have is little real direction on markets this morning. S&P 500 dropped back yesterday, but again, is this just another correction within that trend channel? So it takes me to my data points today. We've got to look out for US data this afternoon. We've got Case-Shiller Home Price Index, 2 o'clock. We've got the consumer confidence at 3 o'clock. Case-Shiller just expected to shade a touch lower. Consumer confidence 132, very strong still. 133.4 last month was the highest ever. And Richmond Fed Composite expected to drop actually to 22 from 24. So again, still very strong numbers there. But my chart today is silver. Now I've been talking increasingly about this gold-silver ratio that we've got, which is or hit recently at 85, which is record levels of being overstretched, which would suggest on mean reversion that in the coming weeks and months there's going to be silver outperforming gold. Now, as a standalone, silver is starting to sort of look a little bit better, although this is just basically still a consolidation, and it looked in the last couple of days as though it was starting to get a little bit of upside traction, but it failed to really sort of go with that break above 1430, and that is the resistance that we're looking at. 1430 initially is the resistance, but you see that Thursday's high last week, 1443, so certainly a close above that would generate some momentum. But you've got the RSI 43 again, time and time again in recent months. 43 has been limiting the rallies, and again that's where we sit on the RSI. But you do have the MACD lines rising, your stochastics rising as well. You've also broken that downtrend. So the question would be, is this a consolidation similar to what we saw through July into August? A couple of occasions we saw consolidations that subsequently sort of resolved to the downside. Is this another time that we're going to see a consolidation resolving to the downside? Well, the momentum indicator is improving, is a strong sort of improvement. You've got the hourly chart, which is starting to form this slight uptrend, only very slight, but it is still an uptrend. Momentum indicators still, I think, on the hourly pointing towards consolidation, but as I said, if we can start to see the market close pushing above 1430, and closing above 1430 and then a confirmation above 1443, then the prospect of a recovery is on, I think, on silver. So with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading, and I will speak to you later.